for future generations, we must consider our problematic cultural beliefs that hinder our emotional healing. Number one, control your emotions. This is commonly done through intentional breathing, escape and distraction, addictions and obsessions, and many more. Number two, emotional wounds are complicated, take a long time to heal, or they can never heal. This can be seen through trauma, grief, aggression, and many more. Number three, logic will resolve emotional blocks. Number four, if I am offended, then it's the offender's fault. All four of these are speaking to fear. Fear is the root of personal and communal tensions. Love, however, is abundant when fears are integrated. So how do we build a coherent community that empowers individuals to integrate their fears and uncover their emotional brilliance? Let's begin a journey into looking inward, saying yes, feeling some stuff, and awakening emotional brilliance through the integration of our fear-based physical sensations that no longer serve us. This seemingly simple process will create emotional sovereignty and uncover a new depth of love, so we can join together to build the bridge that leads us to flourishing our coherent community. Has anyone ever noticed when a friend or family member is emotionally triggered? We could talk for years about all the times we've experienced being aware of someone near us that is incoherently drunk off their own emotional sparks. Offended, angry, aggressive, anxious, sad, the list goes on. So let's take this a step further. We can easily see a trigger that's outside of us, but in the moment of emotion, it becomes much more difficult to feel that we ourselves are emotionally sparked, a trigger that is rooted in fear. Fears collectively generate our stress, our anxieties, our emotional suffering, and our physical dysfunctions. It is the locking mechanism which keeps societies disempowered and conflicted towards one another. Our emotions, at their core, begin as physical sensations within our body. We know we are angry because we feel it in our bodies. Our emotions are attempting to improve our response to our environment. However, recurring emotions that hinder our lives are inherently outdated projections that no longer serve us and are a detriment to our communities and our society. Yet, these irrelevant sparks still persist. So Vincent van Gogh once said, "Let's not forget that the little emotions are great captains of our lives, and we obey them without realizing it." So where do these captains live, and why do we even obey them? Our body mind is wired for prediction. It's an automated process. Do you want a piece of chocolate? How was that? What did it taste like? What did it taste like to you? So by me saying the word chocolate, your body experiences a cascade of sensations connected to your meaning of that word. Your first experience of chocolate creates a sensorial imprint in your body that you carry with you going forward. And each experience thereafter will update that prediction. So the word by itself tells your body what to expect. Our emotions are the same way. How did that water taste? Our subconscious mind is our prediction control center. It records and processes about 20 million bits per second and is operating throughout 95% of our daily activities. This is the heart of our obsolete emotional reactions that our loved ones are so accustomed to, and yet we have difficulty to see them ourselves. In comparison, our conscious mind only contributes to 5% of our lived experiences, processing at a mere 40 bits per second. I'm certain that those who practice mindfulness increase the power of their conscious mind. However, when it comes to emotions, the data is out. We are overpowered by our predictive emotional reactions. This is why we see ourselves want to act better, but stress occurs and we quickly obey our captains. So I must reiterate, 20 million versus 40. What? So let's compare a real life visual example. This average marble right here is 3/4 of an inch. So imagine that this marble is on the beach at sea level, and now compare that to the largest mountain on Earth, Mount Everest, at about 29,000 feet above sea level. That means that we would require 500,000 conscious minds, our marble, to equal the power of our subconscious mind, our Mount Everest. The magnitude of difference is astounding. From conception until about 5 or 6 years old, our Mount Everest records everything, most especially our high stress moments, which is a unique perception to each and every one of us. And it lays the foundation for our current outdated emotional predictions. What we perceive as stressful at 5 years old now invades our life no matter our current age. So imagine how many high stress moments you could have gone through during that period. You may not remember, I may not remember, but we know that our body mind does remember more than we could ever fathom, all through there. So these prediction patterns experienced in the moment as a sensorial imprint invade our life as disruptive emotions and become recurring, disempowering, and they imprison us because we have not been attended to properly. Keep in mind though, we are magic. So let's attend to our emotions by acknowledging the way nature has constructed them. Our access point for self-healing our emotions are this. 1, we feel the emotion. 2, we look inward by closing our eyes to feel our physical sensations that produce that emotion. If we feel sensations, then we are instantly accessing the incomprehensible data processing powers of our Mount Everest that produces them. Number 3, our magical marble, does nothing. We say yes to our sensations, and then we surrender to those sensations. Choosing to not control our sensations is what allows us for unified integration. Once complete, the sensorial imprint will never invade our lives again. Our high stress moment of trauma has been witnessed. The sensations completed their pathway, and our predictions have been updated to the current reality of our safety and our desire to thrive. Woo! Okay, I get it. That is a lot of technical lingo. Knowing this is both helpful and it's detrimental to us in our goal to harmonize the root of our emotional distresses. So here are some real life examples from myself and from my clients. I once thought that I didn't have any fear. I didn't have any troublesome emotions. I'm not emotional. I remember being asked a few times throughout my life, what do you fear? My mind would freeze. I had no idea. That question itself put me into a freeze response, However, if you ask my friends, they could easily create a never-ending list of my fears. I thought I knew who I was. I had many preferences and designed my life around them. Then I became certified as a practitioner in the emotional resolution technique, EmRes for short, which is everything I've described up until this point and so much more. Early in my practice, I had worked with 3 specific clients that had various phobias. 1, fear of bridges. A second one, fear of deep water. And then the third one was a fear of flying on planes. Each phobia was harmonized within one 60-minute session, respectively. These individuals were then able to go into the same environment that previously sparked them, now with these updated predictions, and could enjoy themselves without even trying. I was astonished. Most phobias are considered incurable and or take a lot of dedicated work to make any effective progress. Most individuals that seek conventional treatments end up on medications. Even though I saw these phobias become completely resolved with a simple, quick, and natural method, I was still skeptical. I had seen transformations, but I hadn't experienced it personally. Every answer to who am I changed the day I decided to sign up for a presentation at Naropa's Healers Day my freshman year. I felt completely comfortable knowing that I was going to give a talk about this transformative technique that I use with my clients until about 15 minutes before it was my time to be the expert in the limelight. So my magical marble said, yeah, I can do that. While my Mount Everest said, no way, Jose. Do any of you in the audience fear public speaking? Apparently I did too, but I didn't know it. So a pivotal point occurred moments before showtime. I've become aware that I'm anxious. I'm having a disruptive emotional spark. I'm triggered. Hey, I know what to do. So I close my eyes. I feel my sensations. I felt tightness in my throat. My stomach felt tight. I felt really dizzy. And I said yes to these sensations. I did nothing. Slowly, the sensations changed. The tightness went away. My stomach no longer was tense. And I felt calm. So I opened my eyes. So my physical sensations moved around and did some things until no more things happened. I felt a sense of calm, and my body became quiet and content. This happened in less than 30 seconds. For real. I began my talk, and to my surprise, I did not have any of my well-known anxieties that I previously had to spend my resources controlling. Now with these updated projections, I could feel my body and think clearly. I was calm, and I knew what I wanted to say. I spoke at a tempo that made sense. I actually felt invigorated. I finally experienced what my clients had embodied, a newly integrated version of myself. This is emotional brilliance. This is emotional sovereignty. I am magic, and so are you. Ever since harmonizing my anxiety spark, I have said yes to obsolete, fear-invoking environments. I now know on an embodied level that fear controlled my life, and it still does. And I have complete confidence that I can integrate the fears that conflict with who I am and who I desire to become. I now let life come to me. I see how my body responds, and I attend to my sensations as the emotions arrive. Emotional sovereignty transported me into being a leader for a student group, into speaking on the Naropa Youth podcast, and into freelancing my dream business, things that I know my outdated, fear-based sensations would have stopped me from doing. I'm here today, an expert in the limelight, as a testament to the self-healing capacities of our bodies. Let's all quicken our healing and shorten our suffering. We have the technology within us, and those around us deserve this from us. Our world deserves this and is in desperate need. When we heal our emotions on the sensorial level, we inherently help to heal others in that process. So we're tuning forks, whether we know it or not. Relationships are a spectacular example of this. Our disruptive sparks begin, the torch gets thrown back and forth, and soon both people are on fire, and then the whole house is on fire. However, when one person takes responsibility and chooses sensorial sovereignty, the tone becomes harmonized and their spark subsides. A coherent tone is unearthed from within. Emotions teleport us through the gateway to our sensations, and these become our compass that guides us to uncovering our infinite potential. This counterculture act requires creating space to truly feel our physical sensations. When our sensations complete their pathway, we are then able to re-enter into relationship as a new version of ourselves. We can build relationships where we generously help one another in noticing these sparks in the moment they arise. If we notice it in someone else, chances are we are also sparked. Start where we are. My family and friends and respective audience, you have permission to give me a generous nudge when you notice this in me. I think we all need this. So let's continue working together to disrupt these problematic cultural beliefs and discover genius ways to unify all perspectives that support our emotional empowerment. There is no one person that will provide the answers to our world's problems. And I believe the answers to our world's problems are buried deeply within each of us, muzzled beneath our fears, awaiting our dedicated attention. So as we integrate these fears and support others in doing the same, we will uncover our emotional homeostasis, a feeling of contentment, a feeling of peace within our core. When this homeostatic birthright is collectively utilized, it can then provide us the pathway to creating a community that is conscious of the personal responsibility to integrate emotions that are no longer useful to us or our society. When the synergy of unified positive emotions coalesces on a massive scale, we will then have the somatic clarity to embody love towards every sentient being. Love that is devoid of fear becomes the bridge that will lead us to creating our heaven on earth, our beloved community. So speaking of a loving being that was devoid of fear, Trungpa, the founder of our school, once said, "The clitoris of your heart gets stimulated, and you either fall in love or you get pissed off." So your Mount Everest will get sparked and choose your reaction on your behalf. And now your magic marble can lovingly engage in this reaction by looking inward and saying yes. Oh, the possibilities. I have provided you an owner's manual to the emotional self-healing biotechnology that is your birthright. This manual does not have any words, and it's full of sensations that are unique to you. It's worth your time to discover what your sensations are trying to tell you. So be curious, have fun, and love on. Thank you.